Hello and welcome to the Beyond the Mirror podcast. I am so excited to be back in your ears. And if you can see me for the first time on YouTube, hello. It's so nice to finally meet you face to face. I am so excited. If you are brand new, if you're returning, whatever it is, welcome to the podcast. We have had a big break. So I wasn't planning on having as much of a break as I did end up having. I was quite burnt out and I just took a lot of time to sort of nut out and get clear on like how I was going to do this in a much more sustainable way that was going to work for me and support like my lifestyle, I guess. And so I am back and I'm so excited because as you can see, we have a new setup. We're on YouTube, which is really, really exciting. And so now we've got audio and video. So it's a really cool way to kind of like get to know you, but also deliver some content that hopefully you'll find really valuable. As I mentioned, it's been a hot minute. There's been a lot that's happened. And usually if you know my podcast or you've listened to an episode before, I would do a weekly recap at the start of the episode. But because it's been such a long time, I thought, well, let's do an update because there's been a lot of things that have been happening. So let's not waste any time because I want these episodes to be short, sharp, bite-sized, actionable, tangible, and valuable content for you. So you don't have to waste like hours finding the nugget in the episode. So update, for those who don't know, I'm actually currently 23 weeks pregnant with a baby boy. So there's been a lot happening behind the scenes, which has obviously contributed to why I've been away, but pregnancy is one of them and I'm due in June this year, which is really exciting. So mid-June is when we're expecting bubs. So super, super exciting. And so I'll be having lots of updates and I'll be sharing my journey with you. And this is one of the big reasons I really wanted to come back now is because pregnancy is a big component of body image, big component of how you see yourself, a big component of big life changes and big life events. So I really, really, really wanted to come back before I had bubs so that I could really bring you some valuable content in these different phases of life. As you can see, we've had a bit of a look and feel update as well. So we've got new artwork for the podcast. We've got a little bit of new branding, a bit of new colors and all those kinds of things. I just wanted a complete reset and a bit of a fresh start. The way that I see 2025 is it's the year I thrive. So I really wanted to bring that idea of that element of thriving. And for me, I went with a bit more of a green, I guess, sort of theme, if you can see the theme. And I think that's going to be a great way to start. I wanted it to be something more universal. I wanted it to be something that would appeal to and speak to more women and people that were going through that self-love, body image, personal growth journey in life's big and small moments. I think that's really important is remembering we think about personal growth, self-esteem, body image in the big moments, but I really wanted to draw it back to the small moments as well because I think those little nuance, almost underrated and undervalued moments that we often overlook or forget about are really crucial as well. And as I mentioned with the whole fresh new look thing, we have a whole fresh new website. So I've updated the website. So the new URL for the website is actually now www.geordielee.net. So I wanted it to be a little less confusing about where you could find my different brands. So you've got the Geordie Lee brand, you've got the Body Image Coach, and you've got the podcast all under one roof rather than having to go to different spots to find the same sort of information or to find different products or different services. It's all under the one roof. So that's geordielee.net and check it out. I'd love to know what you think of the new look for the website. And on top of all of that, there are so many exciting things on the back of all of that in store for all three of those brands this year. And I'm so, so, so excited for you to see what's coming, for it all to unfold and just to get stuck into it all. So again, as I mentioned, this podcast is not meant to be a super, super long one. So I want to get straight into today's topic. So let's not waste any more time. Today's episode is the time to start loving your body is now. The episode is a bit of a tough love, no BS, no fluff, actionable, tangible, valuable tips, tricks, and hacks on how to start loving your body today. So many people I know, and I've been one of those people, they set these goals that this year is going to be different, or they're going to heal their relationship with their body this coming year, or they set New Year's resolutions about how they're going to approach their body or how they're going to approach their exercise, their fitness, their eating, whatever else it is. So I have a question for you. Did you say that this year was going to be different? Because I did. Do you already struggle to feel like you're keeping the promises you made to yourself at the end of last year or the start of this year when you made your New Year's resolutions? I sort of do. This year, as I mentioned earlier, I promised myself that this year, 2025, was going to be the year that I would thrive. And I wanted it to be across multiple aspects of my life, multiple areas of my life, because I live by the quote of how you do one thing is how you do everything. And there's no right or best time to start loving your body. Let's be honest. Really, it's now. Because Yesterday is gone and tomorrow isn't here yet. So all we have is now. All we can really affect is now. Yes, people will talk about how you can affect tomorrow because what you do today affects tomorrow. But really, the main amount of control that we have is in today, is in right now. And something that I'm also living by this year is control the controllables. Focus on the things that are within your control to improve and thrive in your life rather than merely surviving. And it's easy to jump on the bandwagon and criticize your body or hate on your body because, let's face it, it's what most people do. You are taught in society to hate on your body and to denigrate your body and to criticize your body and poke and prod and pinch and squeeze because we're chasing this idea of the perfect body. So I know it feels uncomfortable. I know it feels strange. I know it feels different to actually start to love your body, but the secret to healing your relationship with your body is in starting to love it today. I have 4 actionable tips for you to start loving your body today. Tip 1, stop placing conditions on your love for your body. So this sounds like, I'll be happy when, or I'll love my body when. These conditions are the things that you say to yourself and that you tell yourself so you can keep doing things the way that you do them, so you can keep them the way they are. So the stories in your head and the stories in your mind and the rhetoric and the dialogue that's come through your body and that comes through your mind is what's keeping you where you are. It's the stuff that you're doing now. Or conversely, like the examples I said, they're the things that make you feel like you have to stay where you are because you can't achieve those things. You can't be anything more until you achieve a certain thing, a certain goal, a certain status, a certain size, weight, whatever it is. Stop. That is not going to help you love your body. But I want you to imagine for a moment, just imagine allowing yourself to love and accept your body as you are right now. Not constantly poking at it, not constantly pinching it, criticizing it, hating on it, wishing it was better, different, smaller. And I just want to give a disclaimer here. My background is in personal training, so I'm not at all saying that you can't change your body or that you can't have goals to lose some weight or to change your clothing size or whatever else it is, so long as you're not placing your ability or willingness to love your body based on achieving those goals. Because then we're not doing it from an unhealthy place. We're going, I would like to do this, but I still love my body as it is right now. Whereas what that would otherwise sound like is, I'm not going to love my body until I'm a size 6. I'm not going to love my body until I weigh less than 50 kilos. I'm not going to love my body until I believe it's worthy because I can fit into that lovely dress at Kukai that I really, really want to wear, but I can't wear right now because my body type isn't good enough to wear something like that. Again, these are all random goals that I'm just thinking of. I'm not talking about a particular size as being one better or the other, but these are just some goals that I know people have had or I've had over the years that have become quite unhealthy and toxic because they're not coming from the right place and they're not chasing the right things. Because when you achieve the goals, you're still not happy because it was never the fact that you wanted to be that size or weigh that amount or wear that dress. It was actually something much deeper that you were craving. This is about deciding to love and accept your body as it is right now and not thinking that you need to change it in order for it to be worthy of love. Tip number 2. Challenge your self-talk. How many times have you stopped yourself from saying something to someone else because you were worried it might offend them or you might hurt them? Like you've had to bite your tongue when you wanted to say what you thought, but you had to think about, hang on, if I say this, will I hurt their feelings? I can safely say I've had to do that so many times because sometimes we think things and then we go, hang on a second, that actually sounds really mean when I say it out loud, so I'm not going to say that. It's the whole concept of, would I say that to a friend? If my friend came to me and said to me, oh, I don't love my body because I'm not a size 6, so therefore it's not worthy. What would you say to her? Would you say, yeah, actually you're right, you need to be a size 6 and then you'll be worthy? No, you'd probably say, what are you talking about? You're gorgeous. You have an amazing body. Who cares if you're a size 6? Rip off the size label. Who cares? And something I really want to preface here is we're really good at doing this when it comes to other people. We're not so good at doing this when it comes to ourselves. We're really good at being compassionate and kind and speaking kind words to other people, but we're not so good at doing it for ourselves because, as always, we're our own harshest critic. So I really, really think if you can check in with your self-talk and challenge it, it will really help you to understand why you struggle to love your body. If you check in with it and you think, okay, what am I saying to myself? What are the things that when I look at myself in the mirror, when I see a photo of myself, when I put certain clothes on, what am I saying? What words, what phrases, what thoughts come to mind? And if it's like, oh my God, look at my rolls, look at my thighs, look at that, oh my God, disgusting. No wonder you struggle to love yourself because the rhetoric and the dialogue and the narratives you're telling yourself when you look at yourself come from such negativity, and they come from that place of, I refuse to love myself because it's not what I think I need to be. The picture isn't perfect. Challenge your self-talk. See what comes up. Check in. Notice it. Start to bring your awareness to your self-talk. Often we don't even realize what our self-talk sounds like because we're not paying attention to it. And we're so used to it being on autopilot that we don't even know what it's saying and how it could be affecting us. So what I want you to do is go in with the mindset of, if I was saying this to a loved one, would I say it? If I was going to say this to my best friend, would I say it to her? or would she probably be hurt or offended by what I have to say? Tip 3, celebrate your body wins. Celebrating your wins is really important, because if we only celebrate our big wins when we achieve the size or achieve the weight or achieve the, wearing the perfect dress or whatever it is, we're placing this like idea of perfection and this idea of conditional love on our body. Celebrate the little wins. These are the wins that you have in the day-to-day moments. These are the things that you think are rather like just nothing, but actually they amount to something. Remember the concept, from little things, big things grow? It's the same here. If you have little wins and little wins and little wins, they compound. So success compounds. So the more little wins you have, when they accumulate together, they actually amount to so much more. So examples of little wins are: you didn't weigh yourself, you ate when you were hungry, you honored your cravings, you exercised in a way that felt good for you and your body, not necessarily in a way that other people do. Like you don't have to just follow the craze of or the trend of what everyone's doing just because everyone else is doing it. If it doesn't feel good to you, you're probably not going to be motivated to do it. But if you have a different way that you like to train, or you like to move, or you like to exercise, do that, because you're going to get so much more out of it. And also, it helps you to validate your choices and your wants and your needs for yourself. And the other thing, a big one, is say yes to the foods that you want to eat. Like, say yes to dessert and don't attribute any guilt to it. Don't guilt yourself. Oh my goodness, I've eaten this cake, or I've eaten this cookie, or I've had this donut. Now I need to go to the gym and work it off. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. There's no need to guilt yourself for eating dessert. You can do that. You don't need to guilt yourself. I have this free resource that I think would be great for this particular tip. It's my daily wins tracker, and it's available 100% for free on my website. I'll pop a link in the show notes below. So essentially, it's got space for you to record your daily wins on each day of the week. And then on the right-hand side of the page, you've got your win of the week. You've got an ability to rewrite like the narrative from like one of the wins from the week. Maybe there's a narrative that you've been playing over in your mind that you're only worthy of eating dessert if you've burnt a certain amount of calories. So then what you could do is rewrite the narrative to be like, I'm worthy and deserving of food regardless of how many calories I burn. And then at the bottom, it has a little spot for you to be like what you're treating yourself to for that week. So it could be like you're taking yourself out for a coffee date, you're taking yourself out for pancakes, you're going to a movie, you're treating yourself to like that top that you wanted to buy and you've been waiting, but you haven't let yourself buy it because you didn't think you were worthy of it. I will pop a link to the daily tracker in the show notes and jump on and download that and see how you go. But I'd love to hear your feedback if you found it helpful. And then of course, with this whole concept of tracking your wins, it comes back to that idea of what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on negative, you're focusing on criticizing your body, you're focusing on what you don't love about your body, all you're going to see is more of that. All you're going to see is more of the things that you don't want to see, rather than focusing on what you do. Focus on the things that you do love about yourself. Focus on the things you're grateful for about your body. The way that it allows you to do certain things. Like earlier today, I went for a really nice walk in the Dandenongs, and my body allowed me to do that. I'm so grateful that my pregnant body allows me to still go for all these walks, and that I'm still able to do all those things, because I know there are other people that have certain symptoms that aren't able to do that. And being grateful for that means I see more of those little things that I love in my day. And something I want you to think about is, can you imagine all the energy that you spend hating on yourself, criticizing yourself, wishing you had a better body, more perfect body, all that energy that goes into that? If you actually channel that energy into being grateful for what your body can do, what it does for you, how you'd feel about your body. Like, do you think you'd feel more positive, more love, better about your body? I think you would. Tip 4, treat your body with respect. The irony of this whole concept of our body love, our body acceptance, our ability to heal our body image is that we want our bodies to be a certain way. We want our bodies to look, do, function, act, all those things a certain way, but we feel that we can treat them however we want. You think about it, you go, I want to be able to, I want to eat in a rigid way, I want to train in a rigid way, I want to do all these things in a rigid way, but I want to feel free and abundant and loved and all of that kind of thing. How can you do that if you are so rigid in your thinking and so rigid and black and white in your approach to your body? So some examples of treating your body with respect are like, ditch the diet rules. Again, move your body in a way that feels good to you. Rest when your body needs it. Apply the 80-20 principle when it comes to food. So 80% eat sort of, according to the healthy guidelines. And then 20%, let your hair down. Eat the dessert. Have the fried food that you want. But do it in a flexible manner, because you're going to find it so much easier to stick to than if you're going to be rigid and have to do everything perfectly all the time and only eat in certain windows and only, stick to certain macros and calorie counts. That's not going to be helpful for you, because it's not good and or sustainable long term. You're going to find it hard to stick to, because the very thing that you want, freedom, flow, the ability to trust your body, that comes from also extending that olive branch back to your body and trusting that it knows what it's doing. Think of it this way. I don't know if you remember when you were in primary school, we had that saying of treat others the way you want to be treated. Apply that to your body. Treat your body the way that you want to be treated. You want to be treated with respect. You want to think people and others to trust you. You want to be able to enjoy your life. Think of that and then reflect that back to your body. Your body's going to want to be free. Your body's going to want to enjoy life. Your body's going to want to be respected and trusted. So some little questions for you to think about. You want your body to trust you, but do you trust it? You want to eat what you want to eat and have your body look a certain way, but you don't give your body what you actually want because you don't trust that it's actually going to look after you. It's going to do the wrong thing by you because you've been told by diet culture and society that if you eat the wrong thing, all these bad things will happen to your body and you'll look really bad or a certain way. You want your body to do what you want it to do, but are you honoring its needs? Are you doing what it needs you to do? Are you looking after the way that it needs you to look after it? Not just you calling the shots and then doing whatever you want to your body and making it go through all these arduous diets and training regimes and whatever else. Remember this concept. Judgment is just projection. And I think this universally applies across all areas of your life. Look in the mirror. The mirror is like my favorite tool. The mirror is the most amazing way to look at what's going on in your life. Think about what you want. Think about what you are accusing your body of. It's not trusting you. It's not doing what you want. It's not achieving the goals that you want. And then look at what you're doing. Are you giving it the food it needs? Are you nourishing it the way you need to? Are you giving it enough sleep and enough rest? Or are you pushing it to train even when you don't feel like it or when you're injured? Are you giving it enough of the right nutrients? Or are you just giving it certain things because you think that's all it deserves or all it can have because you are worried that if you give it something else, something bad will happen? I need you to just remember that the mirror is this concept. And this is why I've called this podcast Beyond the Mirror, is because the mirror is so important. It's not just what you see when you look in the mirror. It's everything else that goes along with that. So when you look in the mirror, it's not just, oh, I like what I see. Why do I like what I see? Because I know that my body is so amazing and the person that I am reflects back to me more than just what I see. There's so much more to me than just what I see. And that's the same for you. There is so much more to you than just what you see in the mirror. So as I said, I don't want these episodes to drag on. So I'm going to leave this one here. I've got a couple of little things to tell you before we finish up for this episode. So we have a really exciting announcement and it's something that I've been working on quite a bit and I'm so excited to bring it to you. I am so excited to announce that I have created the Love Your Body 4-part mini series, which will be kicking off next week, Monday next week, the 24th of February. In this series, we're going to be talking all things loving your body. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any episodes. Why did I create this series? I created it as a bit of a personal accountability project because I really wanted to get back into the rhythm of doing podcast episodes and being here and showing my face and creating valuable content for you. But also this whole podcast is about providing tangible, valuable, actionable content that is helpful for you. So I thought this would be a great way if you're starting to feel a little bit stagnant with your body image, if you're starting to feel like your New Year's resolutions or your New Year's goals, however you set them, you're sort of getting you're sort of finding it a bit hard to stick to. This is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about how you can love your body more this year. Because wouldn't it be great in 2025 to be like, I thrived in 2025. I didn't just survive and I healed my relationship with my body and I'm so proud of the woman that I am today and the body that I have. So if you found this podcast episode helpful, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Please feel free to leave a comment or a review via the podcast platform that you are listening on or via YouTube if you're watching, or feel free to DM me on Instagram either at __Geordie Lee or at beyondthemirror.podcast. I'm so excited to be back in your ears or to see you on YouTube if you're watching. I cannot wait to be in your ears next week, to see you on YouTube again and to bring you the Love Your Body series. So I hope you have a fantastic week and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.